There's a company here named Trojan Records. They venture and they had producers in Jamaica. So they started to invite the producers them from Jamaica to send music to England.
I came to London for the sport really because I like running athletics and all that type of thing.
Though we speak English where I'm from, it's a different accent because most of my school friends spoke in Cockney, and so I didn't know what they were talking about.
You meet the other people there and you get to know them all. They're all, you know, maybe every nationality, but you get on with them all, you know. They're very nice.
What fabulous luck! Not long after arriving in London, I came across the de Havilland Aviation Factory. I saw all these planes flying over my head. I was fascinated. I knew right away that's what I wanted to do. I love the London Aerodrome Club. Over the past 9 months, I've worked up 16 hours of flying with them. That's twice as many as they make men do before they're able to fly alone. All this kindness has helped me reach my destination to Darwin, Australia in 19 and a half days. To you all I say, believe nothing to be impossible. I have so many more places to explore and my flying days are far from over. In fact, they've just begun.
Welcome everybody. This is our first Welsh Harp walk and we're going to talk about the history and the present of this amazing open space. This is a picture by the famous painter William J.W. Turner, who painted this in about 1810, 1820, and that shows the River Brent. It's his watercolor of the River Brent. And this is very important. It was designated as a site of special scientific interest in 1950s because this is an important habitat for breeding wetland birds.
The project is focusing on mixed race and multicultural history of Being Brent, how we've come to be here, our identities, and what makes Brent such an exciting place to live.
I knew that in our collection and in other people's archival collections, there were quite a lot of photos of mixed race families of people, but they didn't have any identification attached to them. These unknown people in these wonderful photographs, that we could perhaps gain an insight into their lives, into their history through a focus on fashion in some ways.
I really hope that people engaged in this project will really go and just spend their time with their family. I think that's something that I think is one of the key things that I've really got out of the project mostly, and learning more about what it's meant for my family to be mixed race and what their experiences have been with that really.
During the war, everybody had an allotment, and just if there was a bit of ground free, and they were even on beside the railway, the Jubilee, what is now the Jubilee line, people had allotments there, and sort of on the edge of Barn Hill, as if you could. And my father had 2 allotments, and we just had fresh vegetables the whole time. Wonderful.
We used to jump the brook. It's Preston Brook, where Preston Park Brook, and we used to jump the brook. And we used to build dams out of clay. The fish couldn't get through, so we'd actually catch. It was sticklebacks and red throats. We used to catch them nets, and then we'd break the dam, and then it will flood through again.
Okay, so I was born here, grew up in Jamaica. When I came back here in 1980, I used to live just up the road, and I used to be into sound systems as an MC way back in the day. And my cousin told me about there's a new music complex that's being built, and I should check it out. This was in the early 80s. So I knew about the BBMC from its very, very beginning.
So my earliest memories are when the BBMC was really well used back in the day, and the reggae artists, especially from Jamaica, that came to the UK to perform would come down to BBMC to rehearse before their big event, and so it was buzzy and lots of people were using it, especially kind of in the summer. It was a really well used building, and a very famous building actually, because all of the artists came right here down to BBMC.
Welcome to the Grow Green Gardening Project. As you can see, these are our warriors of nature. Yes, warriors of nature! When you put the potatoes in the soil, how did you do it?
So first, what you had to do, you put like a little bit of soil, then you make a hole, you put the potatoes in, and then you cover it up, but you can't put them too close to each other.
Okay, excellent, thank you very much. Antonia, how many potatoes are you expecting to get from planting one potato in the soil?
5.
We had no recollection of the photo ever being taken, that it even existed.
I think initially there was shock, I guess, some surprise, but then happiness, I guess. It was to remember those times.
If I was to meet those two twins in that photograph today, a bit of advice is, I think everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be all right. There are going to be challenges in life, but I think these challenges actually, they help form you, they help make you the person you become. And I think a life without challenges is quite an empty one, and one that's not always fulfilling. I feel like we've come a long way from the kids in that black and white picture.